everybody, and welcome back to another episode here of the Chicago Bears franchise here in Madden 25 as we're wrapping up the first season here as the Bears, of course, won the Super Bowl and won it in an amazing comeback, being down by, 3 possessions going to the second half. They were able to fight their way back and turn around and win this one here 42-31 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So take a look here at some of the awards. And of course, MVP goes to our boy Caleb Williams, his first year in the NFL, and wins a big major award here for us. Our head coach is, of course, our coach of the year. Unlike his real life counterpart there, he was, of course, fired in real life. But here we see Sharir for the Buffalo Bills. He is going to have Offensive Player of the Year. So congratulations to him. As you see, you got Mahomes there in the top 5. TJ Watt going to be your Defensive Player of the Year. Your Rookie of the Year, Brock there from the Raiders. Chop Robinson, your Offensive Rookie of the Year. Joe Burrow, your best QB. Joe Mixon, best halfback. Shakira is your best wide receiver. Your best O-lineman is Linderbaum there for the Rams. Max Cosby, best defensive lineman. And then linebackers, Moore is your best defensive back. And, of course, Harris Buckner is going to be your best kicker for the AFC. On the NFC side of things, you see our boy right there, DeAndre Swift, got the defensive or offensive player of the year. So congratulations, on having a great season there. Of course, a couple of the Bears are well deserved as well. Caleb is there in the top 6. Walker for the Packers, who got that award for defensive player of the year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I could have went to either one of them, but Roman Dunze did a great job there getting those touchdown passes this season. Omar there for the Rams. Caleb Williams, your best QB, rightly deserved. He had a great season and really turned things around midway through, and of course helped the Bears win, especially that last game. They really dug in and stayed the course of the game plan and whatnot, and pretty much helped the Bears win a Super Bowl trophy. Swift, your best running back there, nice. Roman Dunze, your best wide receiver, so that's really nice. So Bears, we're going to get some nice, and of course with these awards here that you're seeing, we're also going to get some skill points as well, so that's going to be very helpful for us going into the offseason. Aiden Hutchinson obviously is the best defensive linebacker there for the Lions this season. Clowney, best linebacker for the Carolina Panthers, who had a great season there. Xavier Howard, best DB for the Rams. Brister was right behind him along with Gordon for us. And then Mr. Santos, Cairo Santos, best kicker in the NFC this year. So we are now officially 2-time Super Bowl champions. Of course, Caleb Williams will be the Super Bowl MVP as you take a look at the rest of those yearly awards that we just already discussed already. And this was a good year. I was really surprised, especially in the Eagles game. We just went in and we just mollywopped the Eagles like nobody's business, and that's how you need to play going into, you're trying to make a Super Bowl run. Of course, we did have a bit of a scare there in the Super Bowl as we were, first half was not looking too good for us, and then remarkably we were able to come back and just put a stop to that craziness that the Jaguars are putting us through. As you see here, Danny Hill is projected here in the 4th mock draft of the season. He's going to be a late first round, early second round player. As you see, he fits with us along with the Chargers and the Steelers. And, this actually would be a decent, good first pick for us. We do need a defensive end of some sort, either left or right. And, with his look, I've been looking at his, numbers. Davenport was the other one. But since then, he's moved up. He's now in, I think, for the Steelers. Are possibly going to pick him in that position here. So either one of those two, if they happen to be on the board when we are up, because I don't think we're going to move too much. I think we're going to move, if we do move, we're going to move somewhere around the, we got an early 2nd round pick, and then we got a couple of 3rd round picks that we could shuffle around and kind of move up if we wanted to. But if Danny is here or Davenport, either one of those two will be a good pick for us there. So he's 75% scouted. We don't know what his talent is, but I think he might be one of the guys. By the time we end this video here, he might be one of the ones that we will definitely take a look at going into the draft. As we take a look here, we got the post-season interview here, and there you see they're asking us what our plan is for the off season here for the draft. And, honestly, we just want to make sure we can win the draft, to be honest here. That's what every team is, bent on doing. And, of course, they ask us, what do we mean by that? And, of course, we got to kind of explain here that we have to find a player. And, I don't think we're going to find a player 85 or more overall in the first 3 rounds. But if we could find a sleeper, I think a sleeper, 75 plus, and those 5th or 7th rounds there, I think we'll be able to do it. Now, of course, I hate these kind of questions here because they're kind of gotcha questions, like most media personalities do. But if we could find somebody, not saying it'd be nice if we could find a guy that is 5th or 6th round as a hidden dev, and he's just kind of a diamond in the rough. That'd be awesome. But it seems it seems more fitting that we could try to do it that way than trying to promise an 85 or 80 plus player in the first 3 rounds. I don't think that's going to be. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think we can do that. Because they're really true. I mean, this draft it's kind of weak in some areas. Not a lot of good quarterbacks. Obviously, we don't need a quarterback right now, but defensively or at least offensively, we need some linemen. That's what we're kind of working on this season. Trying to bring some linemen in here to help us out. As you take a look here, looking at some of the final upgrades for this season. As we got some big choices we got to make here. We'll see those choices here coming up when it comes to re-signing some players here. Obviously, we're not going to re-sign guys that have no interest at all. I'm not going to overpay for a guy, regardless who it is, to stay here in Chicago. Because you think after a Super Bowl win here, you would think, hey, we got a good team. Our quarterback, he's proven himself. If they could take a deal, some of the veteran players can take a 1 year or 2 year deal with us and see what happens in that time frame. That would be great. But of course, a lot of the players are not going to take those pay cuts there. A lot of them are going to want to move on to something else, which is fine. And if not to another team, then obviously move on in their lives and retire. So that's something we're going to have to look forward to. But like I said, for the most part, I really want to just try to. We got enough money in. If I remember correctly, I think we have quite a bit of money in free agency, but I don't want to go overboard in free agency. I just want to make sure we bring in the right people, that can help us out, and then obviously the draft would plug the rest of those holes in for us. And so, when we get to free agency here, you'll see here in a bit that free agency wasn't the best at all. It was not the best. There were some pretty good, decent guys out there, some names, but obviously a lot of them did not have no interest to come to Chicago, which rightfully so. We just recently won the Super Bowl. As you see, Marcellus Lewis is retired after 19 seasons in the NFL. He's a tight end there, and he retired there. So that's one of our first retirements here. Take a look at some of the rest of the teams. We'll kind of scan here real quickly. Garrett Bowles, he's going to retire. Who else? Shelby Harris, after 11 years, he's going to retire from the Bears. The kicker there for the Cardinals is going to retire. Patrick Peterson, the cornerback there after 14 seasons. He's going to retire there with the Chargers. Joe Flacco is going to retire with the Colts. He's been in the league for 17 seasons. Wow, I can't believe that. Jeez, I'm old. Bobby Wagner as well, 13 seasons in the NFL. He's going to retire. CJ Goodwin there, he's going to retire after 11 seasons. Campbell's going to retire, 17 years in the league. Raheem Monster, 10 years in the league. He's going to retire. He's young. Wow. Brandon Graham, he's going to retire after 15 seasons. Man, a lot of young guys. Jeez. When I play this game, I'm thinking like, wow, like you just not in the league that, like, there's no way you were in the league that long. I watched a lot of football growing up, and I'm like, wow, these guys are retiring. Man, this is crazy. I'm only 42, so. But nonetheless, here we'll see that Tyrod Taylor, he's retiring after as quarterback with the Jets there, 14 years in the league. So we got some pretty interesting people are leaving. We got some pretty good names. Some pretty Andy Dalton, 14 seasons. I mean, wow, he's retiring as a Panther. So yeah, a lot of retirements here. Like I said, it's crazy to see this, but this is one of those things that we all have to deal with. At some certain point here, especially if you're an athlete, your career is going to have to come to an end, and hopefully you have better days. Hopefully you made enough money to live comfortable, and hopefully you're starting a venture, or starting your own company, or going back to school or something like that. So we wish the best to all these players here. But of course, the season is going to roll on here as we get ready for season 2 and try to see how we can rebuild these Bears. And obviously, I want to kind of focus on this free agency here. We'll see here later on. This video actually is coming up here pretty soon. Our idea is trying to really see Adam Thielen's retiring. Wow, 12 seasons. He's with the Steelers this year. Wow, Texans got a lot of retirees there. Wow, Case Keenum, Jamie Ward, Jerry Hughes. Wow. But yeah, we got, offensive line is going to be very important for us. I want to make sure our offensive line stays healthy. We get some young blood in there. And most importantly, have a good, keep that running game that was going, and especially keeping the pass blocking that we were having in the course of the season there with Caleb and him doing a great job there. I don't want him to slide back and end up in a sophomore slump. Game plan for the most part is still going to be the same. We're going to pound the ball as best as we possibly can. That's our bread and butter. Obviously, the defense is going to be tweaked some. As you see Taylor here, he is going to be we're going to go ahead and try to re-sign him to a 5.4 1-year deal. He says he's going to accept it, so that's nice to see. Jacob Phillips is next, 2-year. He's looking for 2 years, $7 million, and it's about 3.9 something a year. And I think that's a reasonable number there. So we went ahead and signed him. He accepted it. Jalen Jones will be next. Jalen Jones from Ole Miss, 27 years of age. He's asking for 1 year, 1.15 a year. And I think, again, that's a reasonable number to kind of work with. We may give him a little extra here, just kind of sweeten the pot here, give him a nice, decent signing bonus. For the most part, he is 67 overall, so he still has some development to go. And he's got good speed. I think he's one of our guys who has like 90 plus speed in the corner position there, so he went ahead and re-signed him. Webster, now this is gonna be something, kind of, because we got we got wide receiver wise, we don't have Keenan Allen because we're not gonna re-sign Keenan Allen, but we have Rome Odunze, we have DJ Moore, and then we have Cook, who did a great job for us. Cook did help us out, but Tyler Scott did a great job there for us. And I think he's going to be a guy that we will see more so coming up next season. So as we see, we're going to re-sign our fullback, who did a great job there in those last couple of games here this season, getting those 4th and 1s for us, and we'll see. My bet, or at least my idea for this team here, we're going to see a lot more of that fullback position come in. Travis Homer, one of our guys from our practice squad here, we're going to go ahead and sign him to a deal, and he's definitely going to help us out because I want to have a little bit of a three-headed monster in that backfield. Herbert's not going to be re-signing with us because he's asking way too much. Has no interest in us. Like I said, I'm not going to re-sign guys that have no interest in us whatever, because I'm definitely not going to overpay. As you see here, got a lot of guys we're going to let go. We're even losing both our centers back, our starter and our backup, Kramer, and I forgot who the other guy was there. Carter, DeAndre Carter, he's going to be leaving. He has no interest in us. Coleman Sheldon is the guy that we're going to be losing. So we're going to lose both our centers. So we have to go out and find new centers for our quarterback. So we got to find a new long snapper here to help us out and see what he can do for us on the offensive line. So that's one of the big things we're going to have to look for free agency wise. And like I said, you'll see here in a bit, this free agency to me just was not a huge splash. Obviously we don't need a quarterback, so teams, guys like Aaron Rodgers, who I think he will re-sign with the Jets here if I remember correctly. We're not going to go after him, but there's just no names that everybody's clamoring for here. As you take a look at some of the numbers here for these signs, and of course you guys can pause the video and check those out. But for everybody else that's unpaused right now, we got to make some choices here. Now, we're in free agency here at this point, and we see a guy that I kind of really like, 84 overall, star dev, Ryan Kelly. He's asking for $25 million for 2 seasons. That's roughly about 12.5 a year. And at first I'm like, okay, we could sign him and we'll see how that goes. We'll kind of just, if he's, for right now, let's at least put our name out there and see what we can go for there. We also need some guards as well. So Kendrick Green was one of the guards that we were looking at, 72 overall. There you see his numbers are kind of dwindling some. So I decided, no, let's go ahead and let's check out Collins here. Collins has some pretty good numbers here. He's readily healthy, and he's only 32 years of age. So he's not, he's not regressing or anything like that. He's not progressing either. He's kind of neutral, and I like that. So we'll go ahead and sign him. Jerome Baker is another player here that I had interest in too, as he's 20 years old from Ohio State. He's got some numbers there. Middle linebacker position is kind of declining, but I was thinking of kind of moving him over to from the middle linebacker position because Edmonds, he is still there. He's still with us. And so I decided to go ahead, and if we do sign him, he'll be a guy that will move from middle linebacker over to the left side, and the left outside linebacker position there. So those are the 3 players that we've signed so far here. Ryan Kelly, of course, we're on top of his list here, came from Alabama. But after a while, I started looking at some other centers there. I'm thinking, we don't need a guy who is, it'd be nice to have a guy that's 84 overall, but at the same time, we could probably find some guys that are a little younger, don't really have too much experience, but enough to get us by. But at the same time, we can also kind of work with them and kind of see what they're doing. So we decided to go with McGovern. He's 32 years of age. Yeah, I know he's a little up there in age, but we decided to go with him. He seemed like he still can, make some improvements in his career. We went ahead and withdrew from Kelly. We also signed, we attempted to sign Jack Driscoll instead. And there you see his numbers there. He's ranked 50th as centers in the NFL right now. 28 years of age. He's still got some growth there. He's kind of getting on that point, and he's in his prime right now. And then there you see. So now we got 4 signings here. Nobody really going after them. I think for the most part here, I think we're kind of lucky. If we get McGovern and the 2 centers there, would be great. Spencer Brown is a right tackle. We can kind of shift him over if we need to, because we need a left tackle as well. So if we don't get that in the draft, which I'm hoping we do, we can go with that. And then I started looking at maybe possibly bringing in a halfback of some sorts here. We're looking at halfbacks, not necessarily a necessary need, but since we do have some, quite a bit of money, and I do love my halfbacks, and I do love kind of tinkering with the backfield there. I was looking at Mitchell there, and then kind of told myself, like, no, we can't be spending. We got 3 guys that are good. Swift's still with us. Roshan is still there with us. So that that was pretty much it. And of course, then I seen this. I seen Khalil Mack. He was on the board there. I'm thinking, like, wow, it would be so great to see a Buffalo legend. Not to mention he played for the Raiders. He even played for us back in the day. And he didn't have he had a pretty good, decent career with us. He had some decent numbers there. He had 12. That first year he was with us, he had 12 sacks. 45 tackles. The most he had with us was 47. 2 seasons after that. And I'm thinking, Khalil Mack will be a great guy there. In my Jacksonville Jaguars series, if you guys haven't seen that yet, definitely go check it out. And we just started season 2 over there. But he's with us in there, and he's doing fairly well. I'm trying to spit it out with us right now. But then, I was kind of going back and forth here. I'm like, okay, do we, don't we? So I went ahead and was like, okay, let's go ahead. Let's see what happens. Because then if he is signed, then we can move him to the outside linebacker position. Or we can put him on the line like I'm doing right now in the Jacksonville Jaguars series. Put him on the defensive line, put him on as an edge rusher, and let him go berserk. Elijah Moore, wide receiver here, decided to get him. I liked his numbers, his run, his catch, all that kind of stuff. He'd be a suitable, wide receiver number 3, number 4. We need him, a guy kind of could play that. Doesn't have, he doesn't have, like blockbuster skills or anything, but can, for the most part, catch a ball and run the ball and stuff like that. So we went ahead and decided to go with him and sign him. And of course, here you see some of the players that have already been signed. With Cowboys, there you see they got Herbert. And then, of course, our signings here, we got just about everybody we wanted, at least that we could afford. I feel that was just a good spot. Now, as the people that we did not get, there was only one that we did not get. I need to correct myself there, but we did not get Khalil. He went to the Lions. Yeah, he went to the Lions. And funny enough, the Lions and the Vikings, I don't know if they've robbed a bank or whatever, but they are making some strides in the free agency. Packers were non-existent, at least to this point right now. They did not make any splashes, and it's kind of making me nervous. Like, okay, what are they up to? Are they gonna decide just go and just kind of put all their eggs in the basket and go for the draft? And maybe make some moves around the draft. So, yeah. Then we got some players I was looking at when I was doing some more scouting here. We got Sean Roosevelt came up on our radar there. We were kind of looking at him. He's kind of moved around there. He's dropped quite a bit from where he was at. I think he was a top 10 guy. Now he's dropped down now to the lower 20s. And then you take a look here, Russell Wilson. Yeah, he's the quarterback. I don't know. People are like, Russ, he's not like the same Russell Wilson that we've seen in the years past. But, I decided, what? We need a decent second string quarterback. He played in Pittsburgh last year. He's kind of lurking around. He likes what we have. And you know what? It's like, let's make an offer to him. So he's 73 overall. Yes, he's 36 years of age. I decided, like, okay, it can't hurt for just a 1-year contract. A guy that has playoff experience, he knows how to play against NFC teams. So let's just see what we can do with him. So 73 overall. I like Russ. He's one of my favorites quarterbacks out there. I don't have no beef with him at all. I think he's pretty talented for the most part. So went ahead and went with him. Isaiah Duffy was another player that we were looking at as well. 70 overall in the middle linebacker position. Again, we can kind of shuffle him around there and see what he does. He decides to sign. That's great. Nick Chubb, well, you see he's going to the Vikings. Like I said, they are making some splashes there. And then there you see, Wilson has signed with us there, so that's nice. Nick Chubb, he's not as fast and not as quick, but he is one of those agile halfbacks there that we're going to have to try to round up. His motivations there were not the greatest. We had really no interest for us, but I'm hoping that we can, not have a huge problem with him. Keenan Allen, he went to the Raiders. Kelly went to, Kelly, seriously? You went there? Okay, so that's, And then David, geez. That's what I'm talking about. These Vikings and even the Lions made some big moves here. Some pretty decent players they got for themselves here. Of course, some of them are over, sliding into their, retirement here. But some of them can still play football. And there you see Isaiah Rodgers' corner there. They got some pretty good, decent guys that they're going after. Some veterans that can help them out, and maybe that's the deal. They're trying to get some, veterans that have a ability to kind of help that particular position get a boost and mentorship, and we'll see how they do in the draft. We'll see what they'll do in the draft. Michael Thomas is going to go there. Poona Ford is going to the Texans. What was that? I think that was what's name going to. That was Fields going to the Chargers. What is it? The Steelers ain't gonna really have anybody there. But let's take a look here. Just some more signings here. You guys can check it. Obviously, pause the video and check out who's going where here, because there's just so many crazy, guys going some questionable places here. But at the same time, when I'm looking at the Vikings and Lions, I'm like, okay, what are y'all plotting here? Desmond Ridder, he's going to be the quarterback there, even though they still have JJ, who when we started this series, we started right as he got that injury in real life, and that was in the game, and they put it in there. So they started off with now their quarterback from Michigan, starting his rookie season. He'll end up, now the question is, will he even be playing this season? Will he be holding a clipboard on the sideline there with that signing there they just got for that quarterback? So that's going to be very interesting to see how this all going to play out. But I think for the most part here, I'm really satisfied with the guys we got. And of course, let me know down below what you guys think of our moves that we made there in the free agency there, because I think for the most part here, I feel like our team is solid. We got some good pieces here. With the money that we had, we brought guys in here that could fill a void or fill a spot for a bit until the next draft. Because like I said, this draft, I really want to focus on things on the offensive side of things, for mainly the offensive line. Kind of looking at some of the drafts that I did, by just kind of doing a little mock draft and kind of playing with some of the draft classes or the ways these guys fell into place here. I feel like we have a good shot at getting some of these players that I think that would be a great fit for us. I think they're gonna fall in place for us for the most part. Not all of them. I think especially the second. I think the first 3 picks. I think we're gonna do really well. We may get. I think we will probably get at least 2 of the 3 picks from the first, and then we got 2 picks in the second round. early second round pick, and then our normal second round pick. I feel like we could get out of those 3 picks there. We could probably get 2 hidden devs in that. And, so like I said, we got a lot of things to think about here. Of course, I know I haven't been going over the players or the particular draft class and whatnot, and I apologize. I was going to have a special on it, but just we're running out of time right now. I want to get another season in here. So we'll talk about the players and stuff like that maybe sometime down the road here through the course of the season. But as you take a look here, we got the NFL draft coming up, and there you see Justin Jefferson says he wants to go out there and get a quarterback in this draft. So we'll see if they'll get a quarterback. I mean, they already got a decent one. And of course, you got JJ, who's really unproven just yet. You gotta give JJ a shot there, Justin. But it is what it is. You see that some players want some certain things for their team, and of course, our guys, we're kind of chill. We're going to try to bring in the best players we can. Offensive line, like I said, we want to upgrade that. Find a good, decent offensive lineman, tackles and guards. But yeah, and of course, by the looks of it, some of the drafts I was going through, a lot of teams were not looking for those types of things. So we might get lucky in those first 3 picks, the first round pick, and then 2 picks in the second round. We might actually have the offensive lineman that we could get. And there's some ones I really, really want, but I know we get them when we get. But I know there's some ones that are gonna kind of fall in our lap if we just, make the right pick at the right time. I don't know about going up the order, down the order, draft picks. We'll try to do our best, but I think for the most part here, what I've seen of the 5 drafts I did, they turned out I was really happy with all of them. So we'll have to see how it plays out this time, as we'll make our picks coming up. As the NFL draft will be the next episode, guys. Stay tuned for that here on the channel. If you guys enjoyed the series here, and of course you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you happen to be new, and of course hit that bell notification so you guys be notified of this series or any other series here on the channel. And like I said earlier too, don't forget to check out our second channel here on YouTube, ESGNet Plus LP. And right now we have a Jacksonville Jaguars series, our mission recondition series over there that you should definitely go check out. It's a lot of fun putting that one together, and we'll definitely you definitely have to check that out. But again, thank you guys so much. We're trying my best trying to get this content, particularly for this series, out quickly and often. But life happens. So, but that's it again for me. That we'll see you guys, as always, keep yourselves really healthy, and we'll see you guys next time.